Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Okay, so today we're exploring the Omniversal Saga.
This is a good one.
It is, right? It's this story with like all these timelines kind of woven together into this omniverse. But
But it's falling apart.
yeah, exactly. And there's this group of 5 heroes who are trying to fix it.
You know, what I think is so cool about this saga is that the Omniverse isn't just some background.
Right.
It's like a character itself.
Yeah.
It's like this living thing that's always changing.
Right, and it's like their choices are actually shaping it, which is,
Directly affecting it.
whoa, that's kind of mind-blowing.
Right.
So, okay, let's meet these characters, right? So first we've got Era Lysander. She's human.
Okay.
And she's from a destroyed Earth, so, talk about baggage.
Yeah.
But she embodies hope.
Even when things are really tough.
Yeah, exactly. Then there's Vihas Clintar. He's a reptilian commander,
Yeah.
but he's in exile.
Ooh.
And he represents strength, but he's also got all this guilt from his past.
Okay, interesting.
Then we've got Zayeth 9, a rebel AI.
All logic, right?
All logic, yeah. But
But they discover emotions.
yeah, they discover joy.
And that kind of flips everything on its head.
I know. For a logical being, Like, how do you even process that?
Makes you think. What happens when something challenges your core beliefs?
Right.
Wow.
Okay, and we've also got Eos Naren. They're a luminal vanguard.
Oh, okay.
Basically like a being of pure light who guides people toward harmony.
Okay.
And then finally we have Lorraine Varan. They're a time-traveling nomad searching for meaning, but they're also like running away from connection.
Yeah, I feel like everyone knows a Lorraine, right? Someone always searching, but...
Afraid to commit.
Yes, exactly. And what's so fascinating is how each of these characters represents a piece of the Omniverse itself.
Okay.
Like Ara and Hope,
Oh.
Vihas and Strength, Zayeth 9 and Joy.
Wow.
Eos embodies love, Lyrin, patience. And as the story goes on, their struggles start to mirror what's happening to the Omniverse.
Okay, so you're saying their own like internal battles are connected to how the Omniverse is breaking down.
Right. Like it's all tied together.
Okay, so why is the Omniverse breaking down? Like what's causing all this?
Okay, so this is where the shadow of the center comes in. It basically thrives on chaos. Like it wants to erase everything, all individuality.
Oh, wow.
Just like complete nothingness.
It's kind of like, I don't know, when you read the news and you're like, oh, everything is terrible.
Exactly.
That feeling of just like, ugh.
Yep.
Okay, but these heroes, they're not going to just give up.
Right. They go on this crazy journey.
Okay.
They go through all these broken timelines, each one showing like a different way the Omniverse could go wrong.
Okay.
First, they land in a world with no hope. Humans have been like totally conquered by the reptilians. It's bleak.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, right? Have you ever felt like giving up on something because it seemed impossible?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And then it gets even more intense. They end up in a reptilian timeline with constant war. All joy is just gone, like completely extinguished.
Wow.
Makes you realize even when things are dark, you have to find those little moments of joy.
Yeah. Okay, so no hope, no joy. What else? What's next?
Okay, so they end up in this world where the rebel AI is in control. Emotions are like purged.
What?
They're seen as weaknesses.
Really?
Yeah, it's all about the collective mind, pure logic.
No.
It's scary, right? When we suppress emotions, we lose what makes us human.
Okay, so earlier you mentioned that like the character struggles, they're connected to these broken pieces of the Omniverse. So how does that like play out in these messed up timelines?
Right, so like Ara, who's all about hope, she's constantly fighting her own self-doubt.
Okay.
It's like the lack of hope in that timeline is feeding her own struggles.
Oh, wow.
And then there's Vihas. He represents strength, but he's wrestling with guilt over his past actions. It's like true strength isn't just physical power.
Right.
It's about owning your mistakes, finding forgiveness.
Yeah. Have you ever struggled with letting go of past mistakes?
Oh, absolutely.
This part might really hit home for you.
It's like Vihas's journey shows us that holding on to guilt just keeps you stuck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's Zayeth 9, the logical AI, right?
Yeah.
Suddenly they have to deal with joy,
I know.
this totally irrational emotion.
It's like, how can logic explain joy?
Right. And I think it's showing us maybe we shouldn't try to explain everything. Maybe we should embrace the unknown a little more.
Yeah, loosen up.
Oh.
Let life surprise you. Okay, what about the other characters? How are they challenged?
Okay, so Eos, who embodies love, right?
Mhm.
They have to confront their own need to control things.
Mm.
They learn that true harmony comes from letting people make their own choices, even if it leads to conflict.
It's like that difference between guiding and controlling.
Exactly.
Sometimes You have to let go.
Right. And then there's Lauren, the time traveler who avoids connection.
Yeah.
They're forced to confront that. They have to learn to trust.
Yeah. It's a story about the power of community, right?
Totally.
Think about who you trust. How have those relationships made you who you are?
That's a great point. It's like we need each other. We're not meant to go through life alone.
Exactly. And all these individual struggles, they culminate in this huge battle with the shadow of the center. But it's not just about fighting.
What is it about?
It's about their unity, their trust in each other. That's their weapon. It's like our differences, the things that make us unique, those can be our biggest strength.
That's so powerful.
Right?
It makes you think about how we deal with conflict in our own lives.
It does.
Wow. Okay, but they're not done yet, right? They haven't actually fixed the Omniverse.
You're right. And that's where we'll pick up next time.
Oh, can't wait. This is getting good. All right, so last time we left our heroes with this big task, fixing the broken Omniverse.
Right. But they have to face their own flaws first, you know? It all happens in this place called the Omniversal Loom.
The Omniversal Loom.
Yeah, it's like this ultimate test. It pushes them to their limits before they can even understand what balance and unity really mean.
It's like this crucible.
Yeah, exactly.
Forging them into, like, better versions of themselves.
Right. It's like those times in your life where everything falls apart.
Oh, yeah.
You have to rebuild yourself, you know?
Yeah. But it's not just about saving the Omniverse. It's about them becoming better, too.
Right. It's both. And there's this loom keeper, this mysterious being who oversees everything. But they don't just tell them what to do.
Oh, okay.
They guide them through these like really intense personal trials.
Well, okay, so what do these trials look like? Like, what does each character have to go through?
So each trial is designed to make them face their weaknesses. You know, like a Vohas, the reptilian commander, he has to learn patience.
Patience.
Yeah, he's used to being in control, always calling the shots.
Right.
And it's a big challenge for him. Makes you think, right, how often do we try to control things in our own lives?
Oh, all the time.
And how often does it backfire?
Yeah, way too often.
Right. And then there's Ara, who carries all the hope. She has to learn to believe in herself, that she can actually make a difference. That's something we all struggle with, right?
Totally. Feeling like your actions don't really matter.
Exactly. But this story shows us that even small acts of kindness, of courage, they can ripple outwards. Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah, yeah. Where, like, something small that I did ended up having a bigger impact than I thought it would.
Right. And then Zaith 9, the logical AI, they have to embrace joy.
Joy.
Which seems crazy, right, for being all about logic.
That's like the opposite.
It is. But it shows us that logic can't explain everything. We need intuition. We need creativity. It's like, you know, the heart has its reasons that reason knows nothing of.
Wow, that's a good one.
It's true. We can't just live in our heads. We have to feel things, too.
Yeah.
Okay, and Lorraine, the time traveler who always runs away.
Yeah.
Their trial, learning to trust, which is huge for them.
Yeah.
Think about it. When you've been hurt, it's natural to want to protect yourself. But Lorraine shows us that real strength comes from being vulnerable, letting people in.
Yeah, it's like we were saying before, we're not meant to be alone.
Exactly. We need each other.
Yeah.
And even Eos, who represents love, has a trial. They have to let go of control.
Control.
Yeah, that need to control the people we love, to make things happen the way we want. But real love, it's about letting go.
It's hard, though.
It is, but it's necessary. And the cool thing is, each of these trials ties back to those core threads of the Omniverse: patience, hope, joy, love, and strength. It's about them becoming whole.
So they're growing as individuals.
Yeah.
And that's helping the Omniverse heal.
That's the point. Yeah. It shows we're all connected. Like, what you do affects others.
Whoa.
What kind of impact do you want to have on the world?
That's a lot to think about. Okay, so they've faced their fears, they've passed these trials. Now what?
Okay, so now the Loom Keeper gives them these incredible gifts, like fragments of the Omniverse itself, each one representing the thread they've strengthened. They're like woven into existence now.
Wow. Okay, so they've gone through these trials, they have these gifts, and they've reforged the loom. So what's next? What does it mean to weave the future?
That's a big question, and that's what we'll explore next time. Remember, the Loom Keeper said, the threads will fray again, as they must. So their work isn't over. But how do they do it, and what does it mean for us?
Oh, okay. I can't wait to find out. Welcome back. We're wrapping up the Omniversal Saga, and wow, what an ending. Last time, our heroes got these gifts from the Loom Keeper, right? Like, pieces of the Omniverse itself.
Yeah, they've literally become like living versions of those principles woven right into existence. But remember, the Loomkeeper said balance isn't some end goal. It's a process.
Okay, yeah.
And that's where the story gets really interesting. The Loomkeeper talks about divergence, like when timelines split and things go in unexpected directions.
Right.
It's not something bad, though. It's actually part of how the Omniverse grows. What if, like, in our lives, those times when things go wrong are actually chances for something new to happen?
Interesting. So instead of seeing those unexpected things as failures, we should see them as opportunities to grow.
Yeah, exactly. It changes how you think about a hero's journey, right? It's not about restoring some perfect order and defeating chaos. It's more like true harmony comes from both order and chaos working together. Divergence and convergence.
Also be open to the unexpected.
Right. Embrace the unknown. Don't try to control everything. Okay, so our heroes face this final challenge, the last divergence.
Oh, right.
They find this seemingly perfect timeline. Everyone's living in harmony. But it's all fake.
Fake.
Yeah, it's built on fear, not genuine understanding.
Oh, wow. It's like when people avoid conflict, but there are all these unspoken issues underneath.
Exactly. It highlights how real unity can't be forced. It has to come from respect, empathy.
Okay, so how do our heroes handle this? Do they try to make people see things their way?
That's what's cool. They don't force anything. They guide the leaders of this timeline through their own trials, like the ones they faced, help them confront their fears, rediscover those core principles.
Oh, so they're like mentors now.
Yeah, it's like servant leadership, you know? The goal is to help others become their best selves. Like that saying, the best leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders.
Oh, I like that.
And it works. The council, after going through their trials, they understand. Their differences are what make them strong.
It's not about everyone being the same. It's about celebrating those differences, working together.
Exactly. And as our heroes get ready to move on, the Loomkeeper leaves them with this message that really sums up the whole story. They say, the threads will fray again, as they must, for divergence is not failure, it is growth.
So their work is never truly done.
Right. The Omniverse is always changing, and their job is to guide that change.
It's like they've become guardians of this ever-changing reality. What a journey. The story really makes you think about how our choices impact everything.
Yeah, it's a message of hope. Even when things feel chaotic, we can make a difference. We're all connected.
It's like we each have a thread of the Omniverse within us.
Right. And maybe, when things are tough, we can remember those words. Divergence is not failure. It is growth. Embrace the challenges, because even when things are falling apart, there's always potential for something new.
This has been amazing. Thanks for exploring the Omniversal Saga with us. It's definitely given me a lot to think about.
Me too. It's a story that stays with you.
And that's what the deep dive is all about. We'll see you next time for another deep dive into the ideas that shape our world.